All right, thanks for staying with us and sticking around for the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown. I'm Rich Walsh in for Bob Pompiani tonight, and we have a lot to talk about. We're going to start with the NFL draft. Who are the Steelers going to pick this week? It starts on Thursday. How about those Penguins? Are they for real? And how can they do in the postseason? And Bucco Fever. We'll get to all that with our all-star cast tonight. And from top all the way down, we got Mark Kaboly from The Athletic, Jeff Hatthorn from The Fan, and also his peer from The Fan, Chris Mueller. Guys, my #1 topic tonight, and I want to start with the NFL draft. It's coming up in just a few days here. The Steelers have the 24th overall pick. And I want to know, what are the top 3 positions of need for the Steelers that they need to address in this year's draft? And we're going to start with our Steelers expert, Mark Kaboly.
Well, can I just say offensive line, and offensive line?
What about running back?
Richie, you should have learned from last year, and you didn't. Let's hope that well, I'll be all for the second-round running back, but they have to address this offensive line. They have to address it now, and it has to be more than just a 24th overall pick. I know it's not going to be the sexy pick, and I know people are going to be very happy if they have to pass over Travis Etienne or even potentially Najee Harris, but you have to get a star caliber, maybe not even star caliber, but a solid Marcus Gilbert-like tackle with that 24th overall pick. That's #1. The other ones, I'm sure you need a running back, but I'm willing to wait second round. I'm willing to wait third round. But all the other ones, it's going to be depends on how the draft plays out, how it breaks. I mean, they can go cornerback, they can go inside linebacker, they can go outside linebacker, cornerback. But I think the 2 needs, and nobody's breaking any news, is tackle, center, running back in any order you want to go, except unless you want to just make sure you get that tackle in the first round.
Well, I think
I
one
agree.
of the things. No, please, Jeff, you take it.
No, I'm sorry, Chris. Then I will go. Offensive tackle. I'm so excited to say it because it is breaking news that the Steelers need one, and a center and a running back. Offensive line. I'm with you, Mark. I think offensive line. You get that first round pick that you hope to have for 10 years that you can lock in, be there, and maybe even play his rookie year. You get somebody in the middle as well, maybe even someone like a Creed Humphrey in the second round, and running back also, and maybe some depth in the secondary is where I go with the third pick. We're looking for a different position.
Well, I waited long enough to have a frog in my throat, so hopefully I don't start hacking up a lung midway through this take, but I'm not going to be really presenting anything that's all that different from what you guys said. It's tackle for me, #1. It's center, #2. Maybe where I'll go a little bit different here is I'm so down on the idea of using significant draft capital for a running back that if they really, and I know this is dumb to say because they have a horrible track record drafting them, if they can find a guy somehow in the second round or third round that they think can play cornerback at a high level, then I would consider that your third need. But it doesn't just, I think, have to be a tackle in the first, a center in the second. I think they're looking with Adrian Clem as their new offensive line coach. Everything I hear about this guy, he's nasty, he's physical, he wants them to be nasty and physical. I think they've got to try to find guys who fit that identity too, which would lead me, I think, more to Tevin Jenkins in the first round if he's there, because everything he said in his media call, he was calling himself things I can't say here on the Sports Showdown, excuse me. So you got to find a guy who wants to play with a little attitude, and I think you've got to find a guy at center that sort of carries that same attitude. The problem for the Steelers is going to be Landon Dickerson checks every box at center except the injuries. You can't take him in the first round, and somebody's probably going to want to roll the dice before you're back picking in the second round.
All right, Jeff. So the Steelers potentially can go, 6 positions in the first round? That's what I'm guessing. There's 6 positions that you potentially could draft in the first round, right? I mean, do you think that they might deviate from offensive line at all? I mean, I know Mark said I was wrong last year with running back, and I might be wrong this year with running back, but, I mean, could they go cornerback after what happened with Justin Lane this year?
They could go wherever they want. I mean, they could trade up if a quarterback drops to them, they could go there. I'm not saying that that's what I would do, but I'm saying that's an option. If some bigger name were to drop, or if they can move up just a couple of spots for someone that they love, they can find the quarterback of their future. For me, it's offensive line. For me, it's tackle. I just think it's too big of a risk, as Chris mentioned, to get Landon Dickerson. It's just, you can't gamble in the first round. You can gamble in the second, but you can't gamble in the first with a Landon Dickerson. And hey, I don't put it past them to get Najee Harris in the first round. I know his talent. I know a lot of people have mocked him into the Steelers at the first round. Sure, that's a possibility, but I think they realize to get the ground game going, it's more than just a running back. They need to set that foundation.
Well, here's something, you know, Rich, you want to say that there's 6 positions they could take. I'll differentiate myself from the pack here by saying this much at least. If either Trey Lance or Justin Fields is somehow sitting there at like 12 and, you know, that pick is up and they haven't been selected and the Steelers aren't burning up the phone lines trying to get one of those 2 guys, if one of them is available, they're doing themselves a disservice. Where I just split from most people on, or not even most people, I think a lot of people feel this way, but it's a very vocal group of people that want to believe they can make one more run at 7 with Ben Roethlisberger. I don't believe that they can win a Super Bowl next year. I just don't see a Super Bowl roster, and I don't really see a draft that could change that. So if there's the quarterback that could set you up for the next 10, 12, 15 years, and he's still sitting around and you have the draft capital to move up and go get him, you'd be derelict of duty if you're Kevin Colbert not to take that path.
I think they would do that, though. I think they would have to figure out how many spots they'd have to move up to get him, see who other needs a quarterback. You can't let a Justin Fields fall to 15 or somewhere in that realm and not try to go get him. That's a no-brainer. I don't care who's starting quarterback and if you want to have Roethlisberger back and have him a starter, I don't really care. You have to go after him because you might not ever get that chance again. Another thing we're forgetting about of needs here, guys, is tight end. I mean, you got Eric Ebron, then you got 4 guys with about 70 career snaps and 1 catch. Where are you finding number 2 there?
Hey, Mark, before we go to break here, I'm going to ask you, who do you think Ben Roethlisberger is pushing for? Do you think he wants a tight end? Do you think he wants a running back there? I mean, or do you think he's with all you guys and getting an offensive lineman?
Well, he probably doesn't want a running back. He might not even care at this point. He might be at the point where, you know, I'm back. I'm probably just happy to be back right now. But he might want a wide receiver. Who knows? I would imagine he wants a tackle just like everybody else does because he needs to be protected. You don't know who's going to be on the left side right now. I mean, is it Chuks Okorafor? I mean, everything that you said about Adrian Clem, Chris, is the anti-Chuks Okorafor. That's not how he plays the game, so he doesn't fit in right there. So I would think Roethlisberger would be more than happy to come back with those 4 receivers he has, if he can get a running back of some sorts in the second round, but shore up that offensive line. And when you think about it, other than center, if you're able to get a Tevin Jenkins, who's somewhat of a plug-and-play guy, the offensive line has potential, at least more than it did last year.
All right, after the break, I'm going to get your opinion on who you think that they will draft. I'm going to put all you guys on the spot. The draft starts on Thursday, the first round. I want to hear your first-round draft picks after this break, so stay right there.
The #1 Cochran Sports Showdown is brought to you by #1 Cochran, Go One Better, and by Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield. Have a greater hand in your health.